What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Aaron back with another video, and I'm starting up this new YouTube channel for all the Charger fans out there, and I know we have some. So, what's gonna happen here is I'm just gonna talk about the Chargers, the last game. I'm gonna try my best to upload every Wednesday after that game. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start reading off the stats and all the headlines before and after the game. So, hope you like it. And once we get to 100,000 subscribers, I will show my face cam, but for now we're just going to wait and not have a face cam. So what I'm going to try to do my best is I'm going to try to have the background be the Chargers game of that week, and I don't care if I get copyrighted, but as long as you guys have some visuals, I'm happy. So let's go on with the video. Herbert's stats was 38 out of 48, 33 completions for 48 attempts for 34 yards. His average was 7.0 average yards. He has 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He did get sacked twice. His QBR rating was 63.8, and he did get injured, but he is day to day, and he will be able to maybe practice this week and get ready for the Jacksonville game, which he did have I think Staley said a broken rib cartilage. Like I said, he is day to day, and we're gonna have, at the moment, he is day to day, and we are gonna see how he will recover. If not, we'll have Daniels in. Now for the running backs, for rushing, Eckler with 14 carries, 39 yards, an average of 2.8, and no touchdowns. His longest was an 8-yard run. Joshua Kelly with 4 carries with 22 yards and 5.5 average, with his longest was an 8-yard carry as well. Sony Michel with 4 carries as well and 13 yards with 3.3 average and no touchdowns, with his longest being a 7-yard rushing. And for Herbert, he carried it twice, 1 yard with 0.5 in average, 0 touchdowns, and his longest was 2. All in all, the team had 24 carries for 75 yards, average is 3.1, with no touchdowns, and 8 was the longest of the day. Now, receiving, Williams had 8 receptions with 113 yards. His average was 14.1 with 1 touchdown. His longest was a 39-yarder. Gerald Everett with 6 receiving yards, 71 yards with 11.8 average, 0 touchdowns. 26 was his longest. Carter with 55 yards, 18.3 average, no touchdowns. Longest was 35. And Eckler with 9 receiving receptions, 55 yards, average was a 6.1 and no touchdowns. Joshua Palmer with four receptions, 30 yards, 7.5 average with 1 touchdown. His longest was a 10. There was no fumbles for the Chargers in any of them, so that's a good news. And our defense really balled out, but could not keep Mahomes and the Chiefs together or separate. Derwin James with tackles of 9, 6 solo tackles, no sacks, but he did have a tackle for loss. He had no QB hits. Drew Tranquil with 7 tackles, 4 were solo, 0.5 sacks, and no tackle for losses. J.C. Jackson finally came back this game. He did all right. He did have a chance to intercept, but it was a good pass by Mahomes to get it past him. He did his best to try to get it. He did get a hand on the ball, but he didn't get it fully to incomplete the pass. He had 6 total tackles, 6 solo tackles, and no sacks, no tackle for loss. Asante Samuel Jr. had a close interception. I think he had 2 taken away from him. 1 barely hit the floor, which I would have called completed, but again, that's just me. He did have a good day. He had 4 total tackles, 3 solo tackles, no sacks, no tackle for losses. But he was around and stopping Juju Smith-Schuster for the day. Joseph Day had 4 tackles, 2 solo, no tackle for loss, no sacks. Bosa had 3 tackles, 2 solo tackles, and tackle for loss, but no sacks. Khalil Mack had 2 tackles, 1 solo, and .5 sacks. He and Drew Tranquill got to Mahomes early on the day. Kick returns, Carter had 2 with 43 yards and a 21.5 average with 30 as his longest. No touchdowns. Carter with a punt return had 2, 17 yards, and an 8.5 average, as long as being 12. Kicking, we had a 1-for-1 with Dustin Hopkins, which was a 31 and 3-for-3 on extra points. That is good. And punting, J.K. Scott had 6 punts, 243 yards with a 40.5 average, no touchbacks, and 3 within the 20, and his longest was a 53. Storylines coming into the day was no Allen, but we had J.C. Jackson back, and Mac had 3 sacks last week and see how he did this week. Obviously, he did get 0.5 of a sack, and yeah. Coming out of the day was we were worried about all of the stuff with Herbert and that hit. Hopefully, he can come back by next year or next game against Jacksonville, which luckily he has a long recovery time. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please hit that like button and subscribe. Peace out.